Hey now, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here in the middle of reviewing the Transporter trilogy. Right now, I'm on Transporter 2, which is a 2005 film, and the plot is we see Jason Statham as Frank Martin once again. He's still a transporter of sorts. He works for this rich family. He chauffeurs their young son. So, still kind of a transporter, but it's a lot more legal and legitimate now what he does. And everything should be fine then, right? Until the son gets kidnapped. So Jason Statham has to not only go save the boy, but find out who's doing this and why they're doing it. Now, what I think of the sequel to Transporter is, I like this movie. I do. Now, is it better than the first movie? No. Is it just as good as the first movie? I think it has a lot of good stuff in it, a lot of great stuff in it, actually. And I think a lot of it has to do with Jason Statham as this character. I love him as this character. Like at the very beginning, where you see he's in his car and you think he's doing another one of his transporter deliveries, but he gets sort of, not attacked, but almost jacked for his car by this young girl and these black guys. Of course, there had to be 4 black guys trying to rob him of his car, right? Well, there's just that scene, the way how he delivers his lines to the girl about telling her how she should be doing her homework, does her parents know what she's doing, and he just kicks all of these guys' asses. I also love that he at least tries not to kill people. It's almost like it's his Batman rule, even though he will hurt you and injure you bad, because most likely if you're attacking him, you deserve it. But still, I just like everything about this character and the way how Jason Statham plays him. Like I said, he's working for this rich family of sorts. The mother is played by Amber Valletta, and you could tell she's not happy with her husband. She keeps giving Jason Statham the eye or the wink, or trying to suggest that maybe she would like a little something something. And you know, you could say that, oh, of course you have to have the unhappy wife who's trying to get with our lead. You've seen that before. But she was attractive. I wouldn't have blamed Jason Statham if he did it, but he didn't do it because he has morals. He does respect the fact that he shouldn't go there. I mean, this is a character that we've seen do a bunch of stuff, but it's just, I like where he does draw the lines, or where he does have his morals. I like his relationship with the son, too. When the son gets kidnapped, you understand why he goes after this. It's not just like oh, he's in the wrong place at the wrong time like the first movie. He's grown attached to this kid. He has a connection to him. So he obviously doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. It makes sense that he goes right in there. Now, the villain is played by Alessandro Gassman, who is pretty generic of a villain. I will admit that. I don't think he's not nearly as good or charismatic as the villain from the first movie, because that actor was super into it and animated. This guy's straightforward. He reminds me a lot of your typical Bond villain. But I will say this, his henchwoman is played by Kate Nauta as Lola, and I liked her a lot. You know, even though she was bad, she was a badass. And she had this attitude and swagger about herself. And the scene where she's in the car with Jason Statham, almost directing for him to drive away from the cops, I like how she's acting. I like how much she's on him. And even though she was the sidekick, she stood out more as a memorable villain in this movie. You have the inspector, Francois Berlin, obviously in this movie, and with his side plot, that's where you find out that the villain has this virus that he plans on trying to bring out there, and that's why he's blackmailing the rich family. You could say that this plot is a lot more, not formulaic, that's the wrong word, but it's a lot bigger than you probably need for a transporter movie. Sure, the first movie had human trafficking, so there was that. But this one just felt like more of a Mission Impossible-like plot. And you could tell that maybe the studio was trying to make this character more of a world hero. But you know what? I don't mind any of that. I really don't. Can I say that maybe plot-wise it's not as good as the first movie? Sure. But the fighting, there's so many scenes of Jason Statham kicking so much ass in this movie, and I love it. I love him doing all of his own stunts. The scenes where he's taking on like 12 or 14 people by himself, and he did this in the first movie, but even more so the way it's shot here. How you see his point of view of him looking at certain objects in the room and going like, okay, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to wrap this rope around it and fling it across the room, and I'm going to knock these guys over with this pole, and I'm going to do this and that. I'm just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Maybe, who knows, if people watching this can sit there and say, oh, it's impossible for one guy to do this. But when it's Jason Statham, I fucking buy it. I buy it, and I'm willing to go along with the fun and say, fuck yeah. I enjoy it. I have fun with it. Transporter 2, is it better than the first movie? Probably not, but I still have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy it. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Transporter 2? Do you like it as much as I do, or do you think it's not as good as the first movie? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!